Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Arizona Coyotes franchise mode here in NHL 22. So in last episode, we had free agency. We didn't really make a any signings, big trades, or anything in the offseason. We only basically signed a depth option for our forward core. And yeah, our team has been off to a fantastic start this season. Mostly, I'd say it's our top line, but still a really good season so far. Kagerodov's off to a little bit of a sluggish start in terms of goal scoring, same with guys like Shelley. So I did rework the lines in between episodes, so now we are having Penner on our second line as a center just because Kagerodov was playing center, so maybe the reason he wasn't scoring as much is because he was in the middle of the ice and not on the wing. So we're going to try that in that change. And also Yoshimura is going to get moved down to the third line just because he's already got like first line power play and penalty kill, so he should be okay still there, and change up that third line a little bit. And maybe that will also give Shelley a better opportunity to score some more goals and whatnot. But in general, our team looks pretty damn good still, I'd say. But we are probably going to be making at least one trade in this episode just to give ourselves an offensive defenseman on our back end, because right now we're just more of a shutdown defensive core, and I'd like to add at least one offensive defenseman to kind of give that defensive core a little bit of an offensive boost. And yeah, hopefully that one player that we bring in can help us out. But in general, our team has been really good this season, and I'm really hoping that this team could do also good in the playoffs, because we're more than likely going to make it back to the playoffs unless we have a monumental collapse, because through 41 games you can see we're 33-8, and Agostino has 62 points in 41 games, and Mishkov also has 61 points in 41 games. So it's been a very good season so far for this team, and we technically don't even really need to make any changes, but I feel like I said we need to have an offensive defenseman at least. And I did find somebody that I think kind of fits the bill on the Dallas Stars, but as you can see, Dallas currently, they are fighting for a wild card spot, so it kind of makes sense in a way that they would maybe want to make a trade or two. They did have like guys like Breland on the block before, like defensemen and stuff, so it kind of makes sense for us to try and make a trade with them. As you can see, the Kraken are also fighting for the playoffs. The Golden Knights, the Sharks, and the Ducks are also within reach. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's fighting for that playoff spot, but that's still like 5 teams fighting for one wild card spot. So I feel like the Dallas Stars could slide a little bit. Their record's not the greatest, so we are going to be making a trade with them for an offensive defenseman, which I think will help out this team a little bit. He's not the highest overall of an offensive defenseman, but he is still a pretty solid looking player based on his point totals. So I think bringing him in should give our power play maybe a little bit of a better opportunity. He doesn't actually fit our coach's system probably, but that's okay. We'll still bring him in and see if he helps out the offense a little bit on the back end. And we are going to probably end up just trading away like somebody like Hordichuk in this deal, just because Hordichuk will be going to free agency regardless this season, I think. Both of them are on expiring deals, as you can see. Oleg Jas, his name is. He's 25 years of age. He's got 19 points through 39 games. But as you can see in the past, when he's gotten more power play time, it looks like he's been able to pick up almost 50 points. So I'm hoping that if he gets an opportunity to play on our top line power play or second line power play, that he can help produce and get back to that offensive level he used to be at. He also does have tape to tape as an X factor. And yeah, his passing stats, his offensive awareness is good. So I feel like this guy could still actually produce at a decent level. So we are going to bring him in. His contract isn't the best, but it's only for 1 year. And then maybe we re-sign him if he's asking for less, but he might ask for a decent amount just based on his offensive output. But we are going to be getting rid of Hordichuk in this deal, just because Hordichuk, like I said, he's going to go to UFA regardless this offseason. He's never been the best defenseman for us, especially in the playoffs, I'm pretty sure. But plus-minus wise, regular season, he's been good. Playoff-wise, he's been really quiet. Never scored a goal in 40 games. He's only got 6 goals in his career as well, so he's a very defensively minded player. So we're going to get rid of him to the Dallas Stars so they could at least get a defenseman back in his trade. And you can see that the trade values are already close. So basically we're just getting rid of a defensive defenseman for an offensive defenseman to make our defensive core more offensively minded. And they're picking up somebody that could also help them get into the playoffs a bit too. So I think this is a win-win for both teams. It helps out probably both of them in a sense, because Dallas might be not the best defensively, and maybe that's why their team isn't doing so well. But if Voracek played good defensively over there, maybe they have somebody they could sign long term. But I think that they're going to end up losing Jas to free agency or something this offseason regardless. So thought I would make this trade just to help out our defensive core a little bit in terms of offense. So let's see if this trade goes through right away. Voracek for Jas. That's rejected. So we got to add a little bit close in values, so I should be able just to throw in like maybe a 7th rounder and get this deal done. Maybe I have to throw in like a 4th, but that's okay if we do have to do that. But let's see, Hordichuk in a 7th for Jas. Still rejected, okay. I will try let's just do a 5th rounder for this year. We don't really need our late round picks this year, so Hordichuk in a 5th for Jas. Will that go through? And that is accepted. So goodbye to Hordichuk. Best of luck in Dallas, and welcome aboard, Hordichuk. Or not Hordichuk, Jas. Goddamn. But yeah, Jas should help us out. As you can see, we actually got to call him up. I don't know why it sent him down to the minors. But as you can see with Jas now, our defensive core, Festerling's still going to be scratched, but now we got an offensive defenseman to probably play on that top 2 pairing where McGrath was, and then McGrath will probably end up playing on like a top 6 kind of thing with Burkhoff. So there is that. That is our only trade we're going to be making, and I don't know if I made a mistake making that trade or not, but it should help out our defensive core, I think, a little bit. We might need to rework our lines a little bit defensively too. Oh, -1. Ooh, he is not a good fit for this coach, unless I go Biles him up there, which I think I could do that. Is there any way to get rid of that 1- or no? There is, but I don't want to put Sasaki on the top 6, so we're going to have to run with 1- just because of this trade. But even though Jas doesn't fit this coach's system that well, he should help out our power play in terms of picking up points and stuff. And I don't think it's that bad of an issue to have a minus or so. But we'll go like that, and then Yoshimura is going to go down. Damo is going to be taken off the power play, and we will put Jas on the top unit, I think. Yeah, we'll put Jas on the top unit, see if that helps out at all. Move Shelly here, maybe? Maybe not. Yeah, we'll leave it like that. So yeah, Agostino, Geeky, Kagorodov, and then Jas and Michkov. We'll see if Jas could get back to that offensive touch that he used to have. And yeah, best of luck to Hordichuk in Dallas. He could help them out defensively for sure. I don't know where he's going to slot in. Let's see what they did in terms of the lineup after that trade. Where did they slot him in? Yeah, it looks like they have him scratched at the moment. Or they had him sent down to the minors. They'll probably call him up at some point. I don't think they're just going to keep him in Texas, which would be kind of dumb. But yeah, that's our only trade we're going to make. Let's simulate the rest of the season and see how this team does for the last 41 games, and see if Michkov and Agostino could finish with over 120 points this season, because both of them are on pace for that much. But I don't know if they're actually going to double their point totals or not, because they might have a slower second half. But who knows, maybe Jas is going to help drive that offense even a little bit more, because we had the second best offense in the league, so... And we were like one of the best defensive teams as well. So I don't know if that trade, getting rid of Hordichuk, is a good thing or not, but we'll see. Jackson McIntyre has fractured his left elbow. Damn, that is a big injury. So we might need to upgrade our center core now. Or maybe not. Spalling up. We got some depth centers. Who do I want to give the chance to? Appleby can win faceoffs. You know what? We could put in Eddie Appleby. Yeah, we'll give Eddie Appleby the chance. And then if there's another injury, we'll put in Filppula. But, yeah. At least Eddie Appleby's getting an opportunity. This is going to be his first NHL game after 5 years in the AHL. So, he's a former first-rounder of ours, I think, as well, right? Yeah, he is. So, let's see if he could live up to that expectation that he had when we drafted him. Maybe he'll get his first NHL goal over the span. Holy crap, our offense 8-0, 6-3. Yeah, this is going to be a historic season, I think, for this Coyotes team. Because we probably will hit 60 wins at this pace unless we just lose like 10 games in a row. Which I don't think that's going to happen. Okay, Eddie Appleby, how did you do? 3 points in 8 games. Not bad. -2, but still, I will take that. That's pretty solid. I will take that. As long as my depth players could pick up some points here and there, that's okay. So, 48, 12, and 1. How are we looking point-wise? Oh my god. Agostino, 94 points in 61 games. He might be still on pace for the 128 points. I don't even know what the math is on that, but goddamn. And his team already has 97 points and probably close to clinching a playoff spot. And we have not even passed the trade deadline yet. This team is unreal this season. Even after losing Matthews, this team just is winning games and scoring goals. You love to see it. Okay, let's just go right to the day of the trade deadline. Not that we're going to be making any trades at the deadline, but let's just go buyer, and then we are going to go continue simulating. Let's see what we got here against St. Louis. Is it going to be another win? Yes, it is, of course. 51-12-1. We have 51 wins already in 64 games. I have not hit 60 wins, I think, yet with this Yotes team, so if I hit 60 wins this season, that'd be nice, but this is a historic season for this team. Let's go to the first, see if we can hit 60 wins, or is the game just going to crap on us near the end and give us a bunch of losses, as Michkov has been injured till April the 5th. Oh, no. That might hurt both him and Agostino's point totals this season. That is a big loss, but at least he's back before the playoffs, but still. Okay, Grodov's going to get first line time. Yoshimura's going to go up. And I guess Ustorf goes up. I don't know. And then I'll throw Filppula in this time. Yeah, but Filppula in actually where Ustorf would go. Yeah, that looks good. And then I guess Filppula will go in just in every other spot. But yeah, I'm really excited to see the point totals at the end of the season for these players, because this season has probably been our best season yet in terms of the regular season, not necessarily playoff wise, because we're probably going to end up being a first round exit, let's be real, but who knows. Maybe we'll find a way to the conference finals or the cup finals again. Let's see. Wait, I want to see that Boston game. What was the score? Okay, there you go. Let's continue to the first. There's another win. There's an OT loss. There's another loss. Yeah, they're trying not to get us 60 wins this game. 56, 16, and 12, or 2. We got how much games left? 2, 5, 8 games left. We get hit a total of 64 wins, but I don't think that's going to happen. 64 wins would be nuts. And Michkov is back, so maybe he'll be able to come back and get this team to those 64 wins. And maybe he will have a resurgence with his injury being done. At least it wasn't too long-term of an injury, because if we would have lost him long-term right at the end of the season, that would not have been good. Come on, boys, let's hit 60 wins. And there it is, 60 wins. Can we hit 62? No, we hit 61. 61, 19, and 2 on the season. Absolutely unreal. Best season yet for this Yotes team. We finish first best in the entire league, so we've won the President's Trophy, I believe, for the first time, maybe the second time. 100% sure with that. And as you could also see, Agostino led us in points with 117 points this year, which is a massive season for him. That's like the best season I've ever had for a player, I'm pretty sure. Wow. 117 points. Wonder how much Michkov had before his injury and stuff like that, and how much goals Michkov hit. Damn, that's unreal. 124 points. Predators had 117 behind us. Wow. So yeah, the Preds are the best team in the league other than us. Wow, our division was so good. Last spot had 100 points. Pacific Division, literally 86 points, got into the playoffs. Yeah, our division was tank as heck. Because the last spot in our division would have been second best in the Atlantic. So, yeah, the Central is definitely a war zone right now. I mean, there was an 18-point gap between that and the team that didn't make the playoffs, which was the Dallas Stars. So the Dallas Stars did fall out of the playoffs after that trade. That's interesting. Okay, let's take a look at the team stats and player stats for the season. See where guys finished and all that stuff. So, yeah, we finished first best in the league. Not a surprise. But the point differential wasn't that much. 7 points only. Goals for per game wise, we were the best offensive team in the league, so maybe Jas came in and helped us out a lot. I don't really know. Goals against per game wise, we were the third best defensive team, so we kind of slide, I think, a little bit, but it's probably because we brought in that OFD. Maybe. And power play percentage wise, our power play dropped to second, but still a really good power play unit, of course. And our penalty kill slid a lot since getting rid of Hordichuk, I think. Yeah, it slid a lot. Yeah. So our penalty kill got a lot worse after that trade, but that's okay. 3 short-handed goals, 32-8-1 on home ice, and 29-11-1 on the road. 6-4 in our last 10 games. Not too bad. Now comes the fun part of how these guys finished the season. I am very curious on all these point totals. So let's start off with our centerman, Geeky, with 88 points in 82 games, plus 64. What? That's the highest plus minus I'm pretty sure I've had in a season too. Plus 64. Wow. That is unreal. Plus 64. That's giving me flashbacks of Jose Stewart in my Detroit series, where he was like a plus 50, 60 something on defense. Unreal. To be a forward and being a plus 64, you have to have been on the ice for a lot of goals. Damn. Good stuff, Geeky. Hopefully he has a good playoffs too, because we might end up losing him this offseason, to be real, because he might demand like over $12 million at this point because of that season. Penner, 57 points. Pretty good second half of the season for Gage Penner. 28 goals, 29 assists. I will take that. Living up more to that $6 million cap hit, I'd say. Demo, 39 points in 82 games is pretty good as well. 9 goals, 30 assists. Not bad for a guy that never got the chance to play a full season. So, 65 points in 106 games for him now. We'll see what he could do in the playoffs. Spalling, 29 points is pretty solid as well. 16 goals, 13 assists. Not as good as last year, I think, right? Yeah, a little bit less than last year, but right around the same amount of points. Phil Billis, 7 points in 8 games as a depth option. Then again, he played where Michkov was playing. But that's pretty awesome. That's exactly what you need from a depth forward. And then Appleby had 3 points in 8 games. So not bad from our depth options. Good shooting percentages from the both of them as well. Left wing wise, Agostino had 117 points and a plus 60. Unreal, this top line. Holy crap. I don't think I've seen a top line simulate like this before, but since bringing in Michkov, Agostino has been almost a 100-point player every single season. He's just suffered some injuries here and there, like 2032, 33, and just last season, but holy. This guy is definitely a channel legend. He's only 31 years old, and yeah, he's almost closing in on 1,200 points. Wow. What can he do this playoff run? Who knows, but holy. I am glad I signed him long term. And then Shishkinov, 67 points in 82 games. Pretty good. A little bit of a drop-off, but I will take it still from him. He's a good player. And he's only signed for 1 year, so we might lose him this offseason. Who knows? Depends on the cap situation. And McIntyre, 44 points in 74 games. That's pretty good. That's actually pretty good. It's his best season yet. So I will definitely take that for a guy that's only making 1.8 for sure. And then right wing wise, what do you got? Michkov, 105 points. He had 56 goals in 74 games. If he didn't get injured, he would have hit over 60 goals easily. Damn. Insane season from Michkov, plus 54 as well. He's a plus 303 in his career now. Wow. The last 3 seasons, he's suffered injury problems. Like, he was healthy for most seasons, and then all of a sudden, the last 3 years, he's becoming more injury prone as he's getting older, so that's a little bit of a risk, but we will definitely be bringing this guy back if we can next offseason and stuff like that when his contract is up. Kagerodov, 79 points, only 36 goals this year after having a 50-goal season. A little bit of a bummer, but I mean, all-around game is still pretty solid for a guy that maybe was, I don't know if he was going to become that lowly player, but he's definitely a good player in terms of shooting. The X factors really are helping him out as well. Hopefully he has another good playoffs up his sleeve as well. 58 points from Shelley. Where the heck did the 42 goals come from? He had a really slow start. Didn't he have like 15 goals in 41 games? And then the last 41 games since making those line changes, I guess playing with Yoshimura, that really helped him out. Because he hits 40 goals again in his career, and he's almost at 500 goals in his career. Good stuff from Shelley. Gonna suck whenever he retires. And then Yoshimura had 52 points in his second season. He's been really good so far. 100 points in 164 games. We'll see what he can do in the playoffs. Utsdorf, 24 points in 82 games is really solid as well. 2 goals only though this season. Defensively, Jazz. How did he do with us? 19 points in 41 games and a plus 30 in those 41 games. Wow. So this guy doesn't really fit our defensive system, but he was really good defensively for our team. And he picked up the same amount of points in more games, but still 19 points, I'll take it. Maybe he helped out that offense for sure on that back end. And then Burkhoff 21 points plus 11, pretty solid. McGrath 19 points plus 33 in his first season, that's pretty good. Sasaki 19 points plus 25. Bilesma 16 points plus 45. And then Fairchild 13 points plus 27. Festerling 1 point in 4 games and a plus 4. Wow. A lot of these DFDs on our team are really getting good plus-minus results. Like, Bilesma is 23 years old only, and he's already a career plus 113. Which is pretty damn good. And then Sasaki is a career plus 166. And the other defenseman that I was looking at... Wait, how's McGrath's stats looking? Pretty good. Burkhoff in his career is probably the lower of the plus-minus. Yeah, but he's still plus 90. He's only 22. I feel like Burkhoff's a lot older and he's been here a long time, but a lot of this defensive core is really young and simulates really well. Like everybody I think on the defensive core, yeah, is 27 and younger. It's crazy. And then goalie-wise, Guillermo Correa hits 48 wins this season, 48, 10-1, 3 shutouts, and 913 save percentage, and a 2.59 goals against. Really good season from Guillermo. Is it enough to win a Vezina? Maybe. We'll have to see about the other goalies in the league. And then Galiev went 13, 8-1 with a 903 and a 2.9. So pretty good goaltending from both our goalies, especially Correa, because 48 wins and that type of stat line for 1.9 million, I will take it. I mean, our team is really good in front of him too, but still, that's pretty awesome. Let's take a look at the entire league for points as well. See who led the league. And it's Desjardins. Are you kidding me? Wow. Desjardins had a good second half. That guy was way behind Agostino and Michkov, and then somehow he managed to pass him by 3 points. Oh, maybe the Michkov injury did hurt Agostino a little bit, and that got enough for Desjardins to pass him. Damn, that sucks. I was thinking Agostino was going to win another Art Ross this season, but this Desjardins dude passed him. That's unfortunate. Most goals this season, though, Darling and Connolly with 61 goals. Michkov finishes third because of the injuries, but if he would have played a full season, he would have had more goals than 2 of these guys as well. So that injury really screwed up things a little bit, but it is what it is. Best plus minus in the season is Geeky with 64. Yeah, our entire top line, the best plus minus in the NHL. Everybody else was a plus 40 and below, but these 3 guys were plus 54 and above. That's actually insane. Wow. That is insane. Most power play goals for fun. Darling. Most game-winning goals. Michkov. Nice to see Michkov up there in game-winning goals. Power play points is Andrews for Philadelphia. Let's see. For fun. Most hits. Weirkosh in Toronto. Most blocked shots. Galiev in Minnesota. Most giveaways. Nicholson in LA. And most takeaways. Lane Cole in Dallas. Most fights this season, 38 from Tulipov in Chicago. Goddamn. Couple goons in the league, I guess. Okay, best defenseman for points this season is going to be Cam Beats with 77 points in 82 games. I wish I would have had this defenseman on our team. When was he drafted even? Second in 2026. I don't remember what year that was. Modine was really good this season as well, 68 points. I was debating about trading for that guy at some point, but didn't end up. Salamonson, 68 points as well. Nobody up there for our defensive core, but that is okay. Best goalie this season for wins, Korea by a large margin by 7, or not 7 wins, but am I smoking? 5 wins. My math is not good. Best shutouts is Angelides with 6 shutouts. Best save percentage by a starter is going to be Cyrus Stone with a 916. But Ramsey up there with a 914. Korea up there with a 913. And best goals against average by a starter is going to be Guillermo Correa with a 259 goals against. So does Korea win the Vezina because he had the best goals against and the most wins? Or is it going to come down to the save percentage and give it to Cyrus Stone? But Cyrus Stone had a lot of losses, so I feel like Korea could have a chance at winning the Vezina this season, which would be impressive. Any goalie goals this season? No. A lot of assists is going to be Benjamin Adams. Interesting. Best rookie this season is going to be Gallio with 77 points in New Jersey. It's a pretty damn good season for a rookie. 59 points from Warner, and then Thornton up there as well. Wow, that Thornton guy was up there for defenseman for points this season in his rookie season. That's pretty good. Interesting. Okay, so that is the season wrap-up. Who are we going to be facing in the first round of the playoffs? And then that'll be it for this episode. Hopefully we're not a first-round exit, because I really like the way this team simulated this season. It is going to be the Vancouver Canucks, which, I mean, I don't know if we've ever played them before or not. I feel like we never played them before in the playoffs. Or if we did, I like vaguely remember it. I don't think we've played them. I could be completely wrong with that, though. Let's take a look at their rosters. So, Pete Sawatsky. Okay, drafted by them. Really good player, apparently. They also have Ludwig Dahl and Camden Piper. So that's actually a pretty good top line. Damn, this is a really good-looking team. At least center depth-wise. They also have Braden Bowie, Rob Cogliano, and Ronald Grabowski. So yeah, that top six is pretty nice, I'd say. Bowie might be a little bit weak, but he's a young guy that has potential. He does have some good attributes as well. So a solid player there. Third line, Braden Ferentz, Skylar McCann, and Mikhail Helmerson. So pretty good third line as well, except for Helmerson. So yeah, this team is definitely really built on the offense. And a fourth line of James Shore, Pasi Tollefson, and Ariel Skewen, who's only 19, but he's medium elite. And he's a defenseman, apparently, which I don't know why he's playing forward, but apparently he is. Maybe there's an injury or something. But in general, this is a really good-looking Canucks team. Really solid top nine and very good center depth. Defensively, they're also pretty decent. Alvin Hartnell, who's only 23 medium elite potential, so a lot of these guys were probably recently drafted. Tyler Penner, who's another young medium elite, so I guess the Canucks were really bad for a long time. That's why I've never played them in the playoffs. Evan Girardi's also there, and Dawson Cunningham, and a top six of Peyton Adamski and Luke Sigomanis. Goalie-wise, what do they got? They got Lincoln Rupp. Don't think I've ever heard of this guy. Former Islanders goalie, former Preds goalie. Yeah, I don't think I've ever played him before in the playoffs, so it's interesting. And Garen Bjorklund as their backup. Depth-wise, they do have Kyler Graham. They also have Jorgen Weinhandel, who's out with an injury on their defensive core, apparently. But he did only play 11 games with them this season, so he's probably more of a depth option. Unless he's been injured all season, which I don't think so. And they also have a depth goaltender in Brian Parrott, which I don't know why, but they do. So, in general, this is a very good-looking team, and that kind of scares me because I don't want to get knocked out in the first round, but it honestly could happen with how good this team looks on paper. I don't know how they simulated those, so let's take a look at how they simulated. They finished 41, 37, and 4, so basically 41 and 41. So the Canucks might be a cheese team, and I'm really kind of scared about that. If this game really decides to knock me out in the first round against that team, I will be kind of pissed off. Because our team is a dynasty and we should not be able to lose to teams like that, right? So let's take a quick look at what they did during the regular season, and then that'll be it for this episode because I'm kind of curious on their goals for and stuff like that. Actually, wait, let's just go by Western Conference. Yeah, let's just go by Western Conferences, narrow it down a little bit. Okay, so yeah, goals for per game wise, the Canucks were not good offensively. They were one of the worst offensive teams in the entire Western Conference, but they made the playoffs. How? I have no idea. And they allowed one of the most, it looks like. Actually, no, they didn't allow one of the most. But they were way worse defensively than they were offensively. So they allowed more goals than they scored, yet they made the playoffs. Their power play was absolutely terrible, the worst in the West. And their penalty kill was really good. Their penalty kill was the best in the West. Okay, so they're just they're defensively minded, apparently, but more so on their penalty kill than 5-on-5. And that's what it looks like, at least. So I don't really know what to make of that. So defensive team, and we're kind of a defensive team in a sense, but we got really good offensive players too. So hopefully we could use our offense to our advantage and our experience level, and hopefully we can beat the Canucks in the first round and get ourselves on to the second round and beyond again, because I'd like to go for another Stanley Cup if possible. So I'm going to think down below, and I'll see you guys next time.